Alright lads, welcome back to the channel. This video has been made possible due to my YouTube members, so a big thank you to all the lads currently on the screen. One of the oldest premiums in the French tech tree is the AMX-30 Super, a tank that was very controversial upon release, as it was the only top tier French tank with both a stabilizer and a thermal imager, and Gaijin was making you pay for this. Yes, that's right, there was a time when War Thunder plays didn't just gobble up $70 premiums, and those days are long gone. The AMX-30 Super though is a medium tank located at battle rating 9.3, it's armed with a 105mm cannon, a powerful sabre round, as well as a first generation thermal imager for the gunner. This great gun handling combined with a very mobile hull makes the AMX-30 one of the best 9.3 tanks currently in War Thunder, and is by far the best option for grinding out the French tech tree. The catch though, is there is a cost of 8,910 golden eagles. In return though, you get an absolute monster for grinding. With a premium account you have an RP modifier of 660%, as well as a silver line modifier of 585%. This means you earn more silver lines than the other, much newer rank 6 premium, the VBCI-2. If you want to reduce your reload speed, you can purchase the Expert Crew for 850,000 silver lions, and for the big spenders, the Ace Crew cost is 2,100 golden eagles. While this is a very old premium by War Thunder standards, it recently got quite a big buff. This was in the form of a small change to the default zoom level, changing from a base of 8x zoom, now down to 4x zoom. While this is a seemingly very small change, it has made the tank so much better in game, as it now gives you a very wide field of view in the gunner's sight, allowing you to basically act as a sniper at long range and observe a wide field of view of the battlefield. Do not worry though, you still do retain the 12x zoom if you zoom in, again making you a very effective sniper for those long range targets. The tank has also got much better backup in the recent months, as several fantastic French vehicles have been added at battle ratings 9.3 and 9.7, such as the recently introduced VCBI, with its 25mm autocannon that absolutely shreds the hordes of light tanks found around these battle ratings. The AMX-30 Super's battle rating of 9.3 also means you avoid the premium 10.7 spam lineups, making grinding somewhat pleasant in this vehicle. You also bully the 8.7 Soviets, as your 105mm gun, as well as your sabre round, can reliably penetrate the OP Soviet tanks such as the T-55 AM1, making 9.3 France very strong at the minute. If you'd like to know more about this tank and how best to play it, then stick around for the rest of the video. The AMX-30 Super is powered by an engine producing 850 horsepower. Combined with the vehicle's weight of 36.5 tons, it gives you a power to weight ratio of 23.3 horsepowers per ton. This gives you a great level of mobility, easily allowing you to have the advantage of manoeuvre on most maps, and especially considering you will never see the Leopard 2A4s at battle rating 10.7, you are pretty much the most mobile main battle tank at 9.3, with the exception of the MBT-70 and the KPZ-70. The top speed of 65km/h is also very good, easily allowing you to rush at the start of a match. This fantastic level of mobility just compounds the great firepower, as you generally will have the better position, as your mobility is so much better than most of the opponents you are going to be going up against. And as we'll see shortly with the gun and the ammunition, you also tend to have a firepower advantage as well. The AMX-30 Super has a crew of 4 men, and they are not particularly well protected, especially on the turret. It is very flat and only 100mm thick, preventing you from fighting hull down effectively. The upper frontal plate is much better, being angled at 66 degrees and 79mm thick, giving you about 170mm of effective frontal thickness. Obviously, most sabre rounds at this battle rating will have no trouble going through this, but it does pose a big issue for the 30mm, 35mm, 40mm autocannons, as they generally cannot just penetrate you from the front, unless of course they do hit that turret. The ammunition load of the AMX is also not really amazing for survivability, with the vast majority of the ammunition being stored in the lower hull, with the remaining rounds being stored in the turret bustle. Your first stage ammo rack contains 22 rounds, and taking any more of this into a battle will result in ammunition being stored in the hull. None of this really matters though, as the AMX does not use blowout panels, and a hit to the ammunition whether in the rear of the turret or in the lower hull will result in an ammo cook-off. Overall, the AMX-30 Super does play like a glass cannon. It can't really afford to take any hits. The fighting compartment is very dense with either crew or ammunition, so any penetrating round is going to do a lot of vital damage. The AMX-30 Super is armed with the 105mm CN F1 cannon, and you can carry a total of 50 rounds into battle, but I'd only recommend taking about 18 or so into a match in order to minimise the chances of an ammunition cook-off. The gun has 8 degrees of gun depression and 20 degrees of elevation, as well as a 2-plane gun stabiliser. With a stock crew you will reload every 8.7 seconds, and with an ace crew that drops down to 6.7 seconds. The Super also comes with 4 different rounds of ammunition to choose from, including heat, smoke, high explosive and SAKO, with the latter obviously being your go-to round. The OFL 105 F1 travels at 1,525 meters per second and can penetrate 361mm of flat armour and 209mm against armour angled at 60 degrees. As I mentioned earlier, with most premiums now being battle rating 10.7, this SAKO round is more than good enough for anything you will ever encounter, and you can generally still go through the upper frontal plate of most of the early Soviet T-72 and T-64 models. The high explosive round is also useful in small numbers, mainly for dealing with enemy light tanks, but it only contains 2 kilos of TNT, giving it 25mm of penetration, so while it is useful against BMPs, it certainly cannot be used the same way the Soviets used their 3OF-26 high explosive rounds. Overall, the fast reload, good gun handling, first-gen thermals, and a very potent SAKO round does give the AMX-30 Super some very good firepower performance in-game, and as I said earlier, the combination of this great firepower combined with the ability to get to any strong point at the start of a match does make you an incredibly lethal little flanker as well as a long-range sniper. Overall, if you're looking for a premium to grind out the French tech tree, the AMX-30 Super is by far the best choice. The other rank 6 premium, the VCBI-2, is a wheeled 8x8 chassis with no real ability to take on enemy MBTs frontally. Now mainly this is due to Gaijin's terrible map design, turning all of the newer maps into Call of Duty games with like 3 different corridors to drive down, basically nuking the performance of all of these sneaky flanking tanks. The VCBI is also battle rating 9.7, which means it will also see those up tiers to 10.7. The AMX-30 Super is by far the better of the 2 choices, and at 9.3 it is a real joy to play. For full price, the cost of 8,910 Golden Eagles is a bit steep, but at the time of recording it is half price, and it is well worth the money in my opinion. Well lads, thank you very much for watching. I'd just like to say a big thank you to all my YouTube members. So as always, a massive thank you to Lola Alphonse, Tans, Deboa LX, Dr. Bob, Tomster013, Schlunty, Van Halen, Diogenes, and Econ. Thank you very much lads for supporting the channel, and if you made it all the way to the end of the video, leave a comment saying super duper.